Hey everybody, Poopies again.
And Mustache Man.
And we're back with another self-defense tips video.
Yep, doing some firearms.
Yeah, back to our roots as it were.
Right.
Today we're actually discussing enemies you can't see.
Invisible enemies.
Yeah, Daredevil style.
Right.
But, you know.
We're not blind though.
No.
But they are invisible or imaginary.
Yeah, when you can't see something, you have two options. One is to be smart about it, which we're going to do. The other one would be like, you know, blind yourself and then like spend years learning kung fu.
Right.
But like
we're not going to worry about that.
We're just going to outsmart our enemies.
Right. And use better guns.
Yeah, definitely.
So, what do you want to start with?
Well, there's basically two types of like invisible or unseen enemies.
Right.
Well, one is visible only to you. We got like imaginary friends, so no one else can see them, and then there's no one can see like the Invisible Man and stuff like that.
Right. So there's a just you see it and nobody sees it.
Right.
Okay. So what do you want to start with?
Well, let's start with the invisible. The imaginary friends.
Okay.
There's, I think, more of those.
Okay, so the classic imaginary friend movie is from the 90s.
Yeah.
Drop Dead Fred.
Have I got him? You're dead, little man!
There's nobody there.
It's because he's invisible, idiot!
Now, the thing about Drop Dead Fred...
He's like a leprechaun type of guy.
Kinda. He dressed like Greenish or something. He was a ginger, and he liked to cause trouble. He would
like
create messes and then like sink your friend's houseboat and just create problems in your life.
Yeah.
So the way to get rid of that problem before it starts, you get nice and close to him.
Yeah. Befriend him.
Befriend
get real
him,
close.
And then you pull out a Bursa 380.
A little
guy. Yeah. You befriend him. You put this right behind his ginger haircut, and you just pull the trigger a few times. Those little 380 bullets will go into his, maybe when he flattened his head, I don't know if you remember the movie, he stuck his head in a fridge and like it got squished and
Very
flattened.
silly of him.
Yeah, that would make a bigger target for you.
Oh yeah.
If you're shooting with the 380, but this is accurate.
Plus he'd be
enough.
Distracted and so forth, because he's like a master of tricks and stuff, and he could get you.
Right. But he might dodge the bullet or something too, which would be highly annoying. Which was one of his things, is being annoying.
Yeah.
So, but I think the Bursa 380 could take out Drop Dead Fred, make him actually drop dead.
Perfect.
Okay. All right. Next one.
Next one, the other classic, I think, like invisible or like unknown, imaginary friend type movie, Little Monsters, starring Howie Mandel and Fred Savage.
Yes, he was quite the savage in that movie.
Yeah.
Boo. Tonight is your lucky night. Imagine a world solely of kids. No teachers, no rules, no homework, no parents. Come on now!
So they were like a race of pedophiles that lived under children's bed and would steal children.
Yeah, that is a pretty good summary of that movie. They were monsters, and they did steal children, and if they kept you past sunup, you became a monster pedophile as well.
Yeah, if you slept the night in the pedophile's lair, you became a pedophile yourself.
Right.
That sounds about right.
Right. So, they did have a weakness, though.
They did have weaknesses.
Yeah.
That is light.
Yeah. If you shine the light of day onto them, like an investigation into the matters of a pedophile ring, they'll probably end up just committing suicide Clinton style.
That's probably how you get them. Now, what I've done for that is I've got my SIG 226, which has a rail for a light, which is extremely bright.
That'll shine the light of day.
Yeah, that should work. And then if not, it's got a pretty large capacity magazine, 9mm. It should work. They're little monsters. So,
right, but there's a lot of them.
There's a lot of them. You want a lot of capacity, and you got the light of day on your side.
Right.
That should get them like gremlins, basically.
Right.
You want to get them with the bright light.
Yeah.
No, no.
What happened?
He hates bright lights.
Get them before they savage Fred Savage.
Yeah.
Right. And then Howie Mandel's also like afraid of germs.
Yeah, he's a germaphobe. He doesn't like anything like dirty and stuff. So
Right.
you shine the light on the ickiness and he'll...
Yeah, he'll be afraid of it.
Yeah. Can't
Okay.
see anything wrong with that.
Nope.
Well, up next, you were telling me about an imaginary friend movie I had never heard of before called Goobie.
A family movie about a boy with a very active imagination to whom something remarkable is about to happen.
Goobie?
You guessed it.
Oh yeah. Now see, the thing about Goobie, my stepson, obsessed with this movie.
He really likes this movie.
It's his favorite movie. He watches it all the time, probably 3 or 4 times a week. Easy.
Wow.
And he's in college now. You know, so it used to be every day when he was like 9 or 10.
Yeah.
But now he's got responsibilities and stuff. So his Goobie time has been cut back.
Yeah.
But,
it's hard to get your goob in
Yeah, he
mid-class.
tries to get his goob on, but he has to go to classes, and then he has a girlfriend, and other responsibilities.
Yeah.
So his Goobie time gets cut.
That's sad.
But yeah, it was a big part of his life. Now this one is like a teddy bear or something.
Oh, he's a big teddy bear?
Yeah, or like a fake Sasquatch or something stupid. So
all Sasquatches are fake.
Yeah. So I figure since it is my stepson's favorite movie ever that he watches every day, I'd use my stepson's favorite pistol.
Yeah.
So that Goobie would come out and I would use a Heritage .22 Magnum and just,
The Rough
pow.
Rider.
The Rough Rider,
Yeah.
yeah. Get him with the .22 Magnum round. And
That'll ride that Goobie rough.
yeah, he'll go down.
It doesn't work as well as the Drop Dead Fred pun.
No, but the .22 Magnum would go right through his little fake suit, dropping his fake self, and my stepson would be highly upset because we took away his favorite movie, which is Goobie.
He loves Goobie.
He loves Goobie.
Let's cut to some other invisible. Well, we got to talk about the Invisible Men now.
Oh yeah, Kevin
Now-
Bacon.
Yeah, there's multiple types of Invisible Man. Like you've got like the superhero Invisible Man, like in the Fantastic Four, whatever.
Yeah, they sucked.
They're like heroes. They're crappy.
Yeah,
Anyways,
they sucked.
I think we should stick with like the more known ones. You've got the classic one where he's like wrapped up like a mummy.
All right, I'll show you. There's a souvenir for you. And one for you. I'll show you who I am and what I am.
Yeah, he did that so you could see where he's at, I guess.
Which would defeat the purpose, I
Yeah.
guess.
I mean, was it like a curse on him, or was it scientific experiment or something?
There's so many different like.
But I'm guessing Hewed also needed to see himself.
Yeah, I think
Like,
part
to see where his hands
there's so
at.
many iterations
Yeah,
of that. I'm sure they've done both, where like one was supernatural and one was
Science.
science. He blinded me with science.
So, anyway, he wraps stuff around him, and then
Yeah.
when he wants to do some tomfoolery, you know,
Right.
some hoodwinking or some trickery,
He strips
he
naked.
strips naked. So he does some naked pranks. Now, how do you fight a naked man that's invisible? And the old one or the new one?
We were gonna go with the classic
The
to
classic?
start off,
Okay.
so we'll go old school.
So, if we're fighting an old school naked dude that's invisible, I would use an old school semi-auto. The Browning
perfect.
BDM. It's similar to a high point.
Yeah, so
Browning.
you're using the old Browning action of
Right. It's a
weapon.
beautiful weapon, 9mm. He would try to do some trickery on me, but it wouldn't work because I got my Browning, and I'd put a stop to his tomfoolery.
You know what? I think that'll work.
Yeah.
You know, you have an old school threat, you got an old school solution, and it should work out pretty good. Now, what about the more recent ones like Hollar Man?
It's amazing what you can do when you don't have to look at yourself in the mirror anymore.
Hollar Man, played by Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
How would you take out Kevin's bacon? It's invisible now. Unlike in Wild Things.
Unlike in Wild Things.
Where you saw it.
Yeah, for no reason.
Right. Yeah.
Anyways.
You should have been invisible in that part, so you didn't have to see it, but you did.
That would have been a weird crossover movie
Yeah.
when he was invisible in Wild Things.
Right. I mean, just his lower half could have been invisible just for that scene. I would be fine with that.
Yeah, they didn't need to show it.
was
They could have just shot him from the chest up, and
Right.
literally any directorial decision in the world could have been made to avoid showing Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
Kevin's Bacon.
Yeah, Kevin's bacon. So anyway,
Anyways,
how do you fight Hollar Man?
I was gonna choose the CZ. CZ
Wise
75. It's also pretty old school. You know, the original design came out in 75, hence the name. And it's fairly similar to some other. It's actually similar to the 226. It's another double single. You know, you got the decocker there, and
he'll shoot Kevin's bacon
with the decocker.
Yeah, and he'll decock it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a high capacity, so while he's doing his invisible jujitsu or whatever,
Yeah.
you know, you got a lot of rounds to play around with, and one of them connects, and you're pretty good to go.
All right.
So I can't see anything going south with that.
Nope. Kevin's bacon has now been shot off by a CZ, and it ruined his day
Yeah.
as Hollar Man.
Now, another thing I wanted to point out. A lot of times there's like an invisible friend, or an imaginary friend, I should say, in horror movies. And it ends up not being a friend at all. It's like a ghost or a demon.
Right.
So when you're fighting a demon, that's a tough cookie.
Yeah. Now, when you say that, it makes me think of the movie The Exorcist.
Yeah.
Do you remember that one?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So the little girl,
She had an invisible
she had
friend. Or
an
an
imaginary friend, Mr. Howdy.
Mr. Howdy, yes.
Yeah. So she played on the Ouija board and talked to Mr. Howdy or whatever it was. But
Well, let's both play. You really don't want me to play, huh?
No, I do. Captain Howdy said no.
Captain who?
Captain Howdy.
Who's Captain Howdy?
You know, I make the questions and he does the answers.
it ended up being like a Sumerian demon or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, how do you fight an ancient demon?
Well, I got the answer for you there. When you're fighting a demon, you want the power of, Jesus.
To the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, I will lord this parasite from his loathsome home.
Power of Christ compels you, that sort of
Right.
thing. Well, we don't necessarily have that in firearms form, but we have the next best thing. We have the Lord's Caliber 45 ACP.
That's true. If Jesus were to carry a caliber, he would carry a 45.
Yeah, he'd be a FUD, I guess. But anyways, I've got here a 45 ACP SIG 320, which is, modern take on a Glock, basically.
Yeah, it's a nice 45.
Yeah, 45 caliber. I believe it's 10 round, so you got enough to take out Mr. Howdy or any other demon. And the nice thing about this 320 is it's inherently unsafe. So you've got that. And in case like the demon's trying to do some sort of weird trickery to your gun, it's striker fired, it's super reliable. And if he tries to do something stupid, we're like, haha, there's no safety. There's no safety on this gun, and it's not even drop safe. So if you hit it with a hammer, it'll go off.
Nice.
So joke's on you, Mr. Howdy. I gotcha.
Yeah, no matter what you do, that thing's going off.
Yep.
It'll always be funny, no matter what situation it's in. A gun goes off when you don't mean it to.
Always
it's gonna
funny.
create some laughs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm the only one in this room professional enough that I know of to carry this Glock 40. I'm the only one.
And then, what else? Oh, the bullets, just like how we fought Annabelle, dip the bullets in holy water.
Yeah, you could do that
Yeah,
too.
and that'll get them. And you have 45 bullets, so those make a bigger hole.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Bigger hole for a bigger soul.
Yep. Mr. Howdy will be having duty in his pants. Howdy doody.
Is there any other imaginary enemies we got to discuss or can think of?
An imaginary threat.
Most of our threats are imaginary.
Well, duh. I mean, that's the purpose of this. An imaginary threat, other than man-made climate change.
Oh, God. That is imaginary.
Yes. It is. Fake news.
How would you fight man-made global warming?
We'd have to figure out a way to attack all the windmills and solar and electric cars, because those actually do a lot more damage to the environment than they do good.
Yeah, the process of manufacturing all of those creates way more bad chemicals and CO2 and so forth.
Yeah, and funny thing about the electric cars specifically, when they mine those, out to make materials for the batteries, it's extremely damaging to the environment when they mine it. And one thing that these lefties haven't thought of is when these cars eventually all die and they have to sit in a lot, they go to the junkyard, they're going to be extremely hazardous to the environment because of that battery system. So their cleanup is going to be an issue eventually.
Perfect.
Right. Essentially, you have lefties that try to solve the problem and make it way worse. So what we would do is help solve the lefty problem and stop them before they create more problems.
I like it.
Yeah.
I wanted to point out something. We didn't use any Glocks today.
It's a no Glock day.
Yeah. I think that works out, though, because I was thinking about this earlier, and if we're fighting imaginary friends, that means we have imaginary friends, which probably means we don't have any real friends. And if we had real friends, we would just have Glocks.
Yeah, you'd carry a Glock if you had real friends.
Yeah, if you had real friends, you'd carry a Glock.
Right.
So I think we did a pretty good instructional video today.
Yeah,
we covered a lot of ground.
Yeah, we fought some little monsters.
Mm-hmm.
Like Epstein style.
Yeah.
Then we fought
invisible
Hollar Man.
Hollar Mans.
And Goobies. And what else did we get?
I don't know.
We got all of them.
We got everything.
Yeah.
Sight unseen, out of sight, out of mind. We put them all down. You're welcome.
You are welcome.